What's up guys, welcome back to a new video. Today we're gonna be doing something a little different, as this is I've been reading a lot of Reddit, I've been reading some Team Liquid, Twitter, and everyone seems to be complaining that the game is imbalanced. You know, they're losing a lot of games because of obvious imbalances. And I figured I'd give everyone an opportunity to let it get judged by a professional, whether you lost because of imbalance or because you suck. So this is my new series. Is it imbalance or do I suck? And this is episode 1. And today's replay got sent in by emctwo, who put as a description, clearly IMBA as I play perfectly all the time. And the replay was titled PVZ clearly _ IMBA. So let's have a look at it, shall we? So we're already 1 minute in the replay apparently, and we see emctwo is just opening up fairly standard. So far so good. He's playing against Zerg, which always is of course one of the top contenders for an imbalanced race. Won 10 championships this year. Every single final is ZVZ. So I'm looking forward to this one. emctwo doing a good job, you know, keeping this drone busy. So far, if he loses this game, the IMBA meter is in favor of the Protoss, you know, definitely some imbalance, because so far no mistakes by emctwo. Absolutely perfect play, as said in the description. Get the Nexus, the core, fantastic. Gas before the pylon, it's an actual build order even. Are we gonna see, Twilight Council before Warp Cave, so most likely gonna be some kind of DT drop or a glaive all in. Doesn't lose his probe to 4 links. Well, we could perhaps criticize him on not checking a third base with the probe or not checking the link movement, but in general this is fair, you know. He's playing a good game so far. We can say he's playing well. If he loses this game at the 4-minute mark, definitely imbalance. Yeah, will definitely be a Dark Shrine here. Most likely a DT drop into some kind of Archon drop. His opponent is playing Overlord speed, so should be able to see everything that is going on. Always makes it a little harder. As a Zerg you have to be kind of brain dead to take any damage from a DT drop after you scouted with Overlord speed, but these guys never seem to surprise, you know. Never seem to impress me with their intellect, so perhaps we'll still see some damage. Couple of Overlords still going for the big scouter round. So far, I have to admit, the emctwo build is looking clean, boys. Looking clean. His timing's gonna be kind of tight as well. He's gonna hit at what, 435, 440 perhaps. He's gonna get the warp in. It's a good timing. I'm not gonna lie. Ooh. This is a sin, boys. This is a sin. If the Zerg has vision with an Overlord or with anything, and he sees you warping in, he has 3-4 queens there. He attacks this prism. You'll either have to let your prism die. You most likely will get the warp in, but your prism will die. Or you will have to cancel the warp in, go over here and rewarp, losing you a valuable 5-6 seconds. But this is a minor error. If emctwo loses the game at this point, Zerg is still imbalanced as he made 0 mistakes. Only a minor mistake. Now, here we go. Right clicking the hatchery, not a fan of, okay. Gets a larva, a queen. Couple of links, doesn't lose a DT. Well, and decides to go back at the perfect time. Now, this move was good, but we see a mineral count. Slightly too high. Third base should have already been started. We see no forge on the way. Pro production has been halted for some reason. He's only on 42, should be at like 46, 48 at this point already. And the third base should be ready. Should be started at least. Pylon should be next to the third base. Adept should be there. We're seeing none of that. So the first errors are starting to slip in, but he's still in a good position. He's ahead. If he loses at this point, he made less mistakes than the Zerg, so definitely imbalance if he loses. Here we go. Nexus, Pylon. So he's 20 seconds late, but all of these are minor mistakes. Now let's see what he gets to do with this prism. Let's have a look. So 520 is the last time he moved this prism. That is some high level Archon harass, I can tell you that. Oh, here we go. He's going in. Look at him, he's looking at this prism. Not noticing that there's, what is this, 4 links? 5 links. What's the reaction time on this? Slightly too slow as well. He saw the Overlord fly in. Reacts about 15 seconds later. Loses 4 workers to about 5 links. 5 workers, 6 workers to 5 links. That's not very good. I'm starting to lean towards the sucking side. Meanwhile, this Prism, just idling over here. Just having a good time. Oh, adapts shade to the natural. The links drop again. 4 links. Kill 1 more worker. Kill another worker. Oof. 9 workers down against 5 links. Prism makes its way over to the fort base. Instead of killing the creep, decides it's more important to deny the fort. Interesting decision. I don't think a lot of experts would agree with that move, but we'll let it slide. We'll let it slide. We all make mistakes. We can't be the fastest. I mean, he still has 4 links to deal with. He only has 4 adepts, a stalker, 2 sentries, and a zealot. So, you know, he's trying his best. No, gets a creep tumor. So overall, so far, what have we done right? Well, the first 4 minutes were good. After that, we floated 800 minerals. Forgot to pull away our probes. And we didn't really use the prism to do any damage. I'm starting to lean more towards the sucking side. And we're not even halfway yet. Oh, here comes double hallucination scout, which is a good move. Always want to see what your opponent is up to. Get a couple of overlords. So we're picking up the Archon Prism Harass right now, which is a good thing. We want to be able to do some damage with that. Meanwhile, we forget to build probes on our third base, but it's not that big of a deal. Only down 20 workers at the 730 mark, so definitely still in a playable position. Gases are a bit too late. Double Robo rather than a Templar Archives. Double Robo is not that great, especially not against Baneling styles, which this looks like a Baneling style, even though the opponent is building a lot of roaches as well. He's getting, it looks like Ravager Link Bane to me, so I'd much prefer getting Storm against this rather than 2 Immortals. That's the first true tactical error, strategical error. All of this before were just mechanical errors. So right now we're making tactical errors as well. This is the first tactical or strategical error. Our unit composition is going to be the incorrect composition. Faster Storm would have been better here. Our fort base is too late, which is also an error, but that is because we had so little workers on our third base, because we lost 10 of them to 5 Zerglings. Yikes. Not very good. Map vision.
Your probe count is being downsized.
Terrible. Absolutely awful. He has no vision here. He has no vision here. No vision here. In theory, there could be a massive army here about to bust the natural. His army would be completely out of position. So, not too hot on the map vision either. The strategy isn't too hot and the mechanics aren't too hot. So the only thing we truly have left is decision making. You could still save this game with proper decision making. Now, the opponent is going for a Roach Ravager Baneling bust. It's a very interesting style. And here we'll see the map vision come into play. See, he sees a single link there. He also sees a changeling come over. Like, oh, it's a changeling. That's interesting. And as he kills the changeling, and oh, another link. That's interesting. Ooh, that looks really nice. Ooh, that's a bunch of roaches. That looks really scary. And as he's trying to chase those roaches or trying to keep this ramp defended, he has no clue that the whole army is going to go to his fort base, pounce on it, and boom. Just like that, it's gone. Absolutely out of position because of complete lack of vision. And also actually taking the wrong fort base. On this map you want to take this fort base. You can't defend both of these ramps. Your army isn't fast enough. The rotations of the Zerg is quicker than you are. So, another error. Kind of growing out of that lack of map vision. Oh, Archon, here you go. Donated to the opponent. But, of course, Zerg is still very powerful. So, well, maybe it's still imbalanced. Even though, I think, if we would have counted, it would have been maybe 7 or 8 major mistakes and maybe 12 or 13 minor mistakes. So it's a bit on the high side. But, you know, perhaps we'll see some Infestor Broodlord and we'll see perfect play from emctwo against that. In that case, still very possible it would be imbalanced. We see a push out, which I actually kind of like. He's up in upgrades. So it's good decision making here. Good decision making. He has a nice army, powerful army against what his opponent has. So I mean, this fight, if microed well, could very possibly kill his opponent. And his opponent doesn't have a lot of workers, only 65. emctwo only has 53 as well, so I wouldn't mind seeing continued worker production. Get that eco back up. Oh, here we go. +2, bunch of immortals. He's absolutely gonna destroy this fight, right? Couple of storms on these roaches. Roaches fight terribly against immortals. Now, this looks like a 1 game to me, if you ask me. There is a couple of broodlords, but I mean, he has enough archons. He can just right-click the broodlords, and maybe 2 or 3 will finish. You kill this base, you go back, start your Tempest production, and you go with another push with a couple of Tempests, and you win. Another thing he could do is split off 3 zealots here, 3 zealots here, wipe out the complete economy. Let's take a look at the target firing. Yeah. This looks more like an A move. It leaves these broodlords alone for a little bit, at least with some of the archons. Retargets, does get them. Thanks a couple of biles with his immortals, but yeah, happens to the best emctwo. Happens to the best. Okay, so right now on the field, what do we have remaining? We have remaining 3 broodlords, 2 lings, and 2 roaches. Again, 7 immortals, 2 archons, and 6 stalkers. Now, if you're thinking in this situation, what's the only thing that can kill me? It's these broodlords, right? There's no 4th base, there's no 5th base. So you're up a base against a Zerg that literally has 6 units out right now. Sure, there's 82 links on the way, but you have archons. There's no way these links are going to do anything. The real threat is the broodlords. Well, what kills broodlords? Storm? Yeah, it's okay. Not great, not terrible. Blink stalkers? It's okay. Not great, but not terrible either. And then you have Tempest or Carrier or Void Ray. All these options are very good, especially against a Zerg that has no economy whatsoever. So, what would be the wise decision here? Indeed. We kill this base and we piss off back home. Adios, boys. Get a couple of links for free. A bad decision would be walking up this ramp into 3 broodlords without sufficient anti-air. Into a links around. Well, emctwo. It's okay. We're still up a base against the Zerg. We have good production. 10 gates. We have a lot of money in the bank. We could start Blink. We could start Stargates. We have a Prism, so we can win some time going around, you know, trying to harass our opponent while we're getting air units out. It's important to act quickly, though. That's what we need to do. So let's see how quickly our friend will act. He recalls the Prism, losing all map presence on the map. Terrible decision. And he builds 8 High Templar. High Templar and morphs them into Archons. The one issue with Archon is that they're not great against Broodlords if they're above cliffs. Oh no. And he morphs them straight into the face of the Zerglings. Oh, does manage to keep them alive. I am afraid I know how this is gonna end, boys. He's gonna get kited to death by 4 Broodlords. Because he's not building anything. Look at this. 1100 minerals in the bank. No Stalkers on the way. No Blink on the way. No Stargate. What's the Prism doing? Prism is in Prism mode over here. Could be harassing, pulling back the army. Salad not on hold position. 4th base getting destructed. Here come the Stalkers. But where's the Blink? Still hasn't started. Prism still nicely relaxing at that 3rd base. There's a brave attempt of fighting the Broodlords, but if you don't have Blink, this is a safe area for the Broods. Opponent morphs in 4 more Broods. Gets a big link. Oh my god. emctwo. I don't want to have to say it, but I'm afraid this has nothing to do with imbalance. I am afraid you just suck. Tries for a base trade, but usually base trades when you can't run away with your army or you don't have anything building in the background aren't that great. How many Broodlords is there? 10 Broodlords, no anti-air whatsoever. except these Archons, but they'll never be able to reach because of the Broodlings. Oh, emctwo. GG, well played, and the Zerg wins. So, time for the verdict. You suck. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it, and see you boys next time.